everyone, and welcome back and happy Why We Disney Wednesday. For those of you that are just joining us, we are on episode 2 of the Why We Disney podcast, hosted by yours truly, Kara and Kaycee. We will be dedicating this week's episode to our wonderful cast members of the Walt Disney Company.
Thank you, Kara. Yes, we are super excited to bring some information to you and do some shout outs this week. Super excited. So I hate to I hate to go on like a high note to like a lower note, but unfortunately, right, due to COVID-19, it's clearly impacted the entire world. It's impacted a ton of us, from schools to small business owners and to large corporations like Disney. So unfortunately, due to that, Disney has released some very heart-wrenching statistics. Basically, they had to lay off roughly about 28,000 cast members. And I didn't realize that even Disney had 28,000 people work for them. Like, that just seems like such an outrageous number. Is that not does that number not just seem so high? I don't know. Did you realize that, Kara?
I knew that there was a lot of people, but looking at the numbers and just going through this pandemic situation and everything's kind of like a gray cloud time, and seeing that 28,000 number, I was like, wow, that is absolutely crazy.
It is unreal. And so I read that in the second quarter of the year, so basically after everything kind of had shut down, Disney lost $1 billion just in that second quarter. And this is only due to park, resort, and cruise line closes. So not closure, excuse me. So not like the entire movies and stuff like that, but just the parks, the resorts, and the cruise line. $1 billion.
Yeah, that's just it's such an astronomical number. I mean, I'm sure I'm not a math person whatsoever. I'm sure when you break it down, it makes sense. I mean, we know what the parks are like, especially during the summer, and park prices and hotel prices. So I'm sure the math makes sense, but what a crazy number.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting too that they added in this statistic. So 67% of that 28,000 cast member layoff were part-time. And I thought it was interesting that they included that in the same sentence as the 28,000. But a job is a job, a person is a person. It's astronomical, like you said.
Absolutely. And I think that the part-time employees, I mean, I'm just thinking, Disney and the parks, they're still theme parks. Like, we all know that Disney is an experience, but they are still theme parks. So I'm just thinking of all of those part-time, maybe high school or college employees that then ended up getting laid off. It's just, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So what else did I read too? So roughly about 400 Imagineers, which broke my heart, because these are the people that create all of the things we love, right? All of the things that we look at in Disney, all the movies that we get to just experience through.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, 400.
For anyone that, doesn't know maybe the difference between an Imagineer and a cast member. So Walt Disney himself thought of Disney on this stage. Everything that you are seeing is the stage. And then everything that happens behind the scenes, they literally call backstage, just like a theatrical production. So just like in a production, he says that the workers of Disney are cast members. These are the general workers of Disney. And then do you want to kind of talk about what an Imagineer does or is?
Yes. So, and I'm kind of binging out on the Imagineering series on Disney Plus. Have you watched this? It is so amazing, and so it just opens your eyes to a whole other side of Disney. So an Imagineer essentially is is the behind the scenes, the person who creates, who is like drawing characters, who's coming up with these incredible ideas. We sit back and we watch a movie, or we sit back and we ride Space Mountain, but we do not think about the time and the effort that someone had to put in to just like have this idea and create this. So,
Exactly.
and instead of engineers, they're Imagineers, as Walt decided to call them, and I just love it so
Yeah,
much.
and like they're not in to just to again show the significance of this 400. These aren't, quick service employees. They're not, maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
These are the actual creators of Disney. Oh,
I
it's
know.
just so disheartening.
It is. It is. That one really hit me hard, was the 400 Imagineers, for
Mhm.
sure. For sure. So Imagineers 400, cast members that were in the entertainment side of the industry, nearly was cut in half, is what I read. So when we talked about this earlier, Kara, this one actually made sense to us, right?
Yes. This one makes sense just because of all of the shows not going on, the parades, the events, the attractions. This does make sense to us, and it really hits home for me. For those of you listening, I'm also a musical theater actress. I'm a professional singer as well as a music teacher. And so there are so many of my friends that are in the musical theater realm or the theater realm in general that haven't been able to go back to work. Broadway is closed. Still, Broadway is dark as of, I believe, June 2021 is now the extended rate. And so just actors and actor equity, and it's all crazy in the entertainment world. So I really reach my heart out and my hand out to those entertainment workers in Disney, because it's so hard being in the entertainment industry right now.
Yeah. For sure. And so also I know that you guys have seen them probably driving around Disney, but they are I guess they're like Uber, or maybe they're with Lyft. But they literally are mini vans. So they're long vans that literally look like Minnie Mouse. They are the cutest thing ever. And I've had some really good minivan drivers as well. So that service is completely shut down until further notice. So no minivans riding around picking people up, and
Yeah,
yeah.
I was so
So
upset about this. Those minivans, and I do believe they're with Lyft. Um, and if you haven't seen a picture of them, they're absolutely adorable. They're dressed up just like Minnie. And when I was doing my research, I actually found out about them through Disney Food Blog and their services and everything. But if you're looking at going to Disney in the near future, yeah, no more minivans. And it's upsetting because it was a cute way to get around public transportation. You didn't have to deal with parking, or you didn't have to deal with the Skyliner, or the bus. So I just thought that was a great way for them to kind of advertise even more. And it's just, again, upsetting.
yeah, so cute. Like such a cute
Mm-hmm.
feature that you saw driving around Disney. I loved it so much. So, in addition to that, roughly about 25 of the restaurants inside the parks, now this is not including Disney Springs, but 25% of the restaurants inside the parks remain closed. And this includes Kara's favorite restaurant, Woody's Lunchbox. I love that restaurant so much, and it's Kara's favorite. And I completely understand why. And also, Kaycee's Corner is shut down on Main Street as well. I just don't
Yes,
know.
when you said that statistic, it daggers into the heart, because those, for some reason, Woody's Lunchbox is like my absolute favorite. Their tachos, if you have not gotten them yet, they are worth trying. But I just love it. I love the Imagineering of it. And then Casey's Corner is just such a staple in Magic Kingdom. To think that these two aren't open yet is just bonkers to me. It's absolutely nuts. I do hope they open soon. I'm just shocked that they're not.
Yeah, me too. And they're such main ones, I feel like. Do you not agree? Like I don't.
Yeah, I would have thought Casey's Corner opened before like Cosmic Rays, or maybe some other ones.
Mhm.
Stop me if I'm wrong, readers. Go ahead and tell us what you think. But I was just shocked knowing that Casey's Corner is not open yet.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. That's all the stats that I have. But just to kind of put this into perspective, kind of how COVID has affected, all different sized companies and even, something as much as Disney that we always talk about, like, gosh, it's so expensive. But even companies like this hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So for
Yeah, I
sure.
think that's all the
On
statistics
a
I can handle today.
Yes, yes. Let's chill with that for now. So let's jump on a higher note. I want to shout out some cast members who have truly made an experience in our lives and who has truly given us magic just over the years. We have some really good stories that we're super excited to share. So this week, Kara and I both posted on our Instagram like a question box, and we're asking people to share their greatest cast member experience with us. And we got the best responses. And we also have a couple for ourselves as well. So, Kara, do you want to go ahead and start with the responses that you got?
Yeah, I got a couple responses, and it was great reading everyone's stories. Thank you so much to everyone that reached out and told us your cast member responses. One that was just I think the most extreme in my eyes is one of my followers. She mentioned that her and her Girl Scout troop, I guess she was I was never in Girl Scouts. I don't know how it works. She was the mother of this Girl Scout troop, and they all went down. And I guess all the girls were there together in their uniforms, and one of the cast members actually provided them with a fast pass bundle. So they were able,
What?
yeah. So they didn't. I guess they were just able to get a bunch of fast passes. I don't know, what year it was. I don't know any more of that information. But I just thought that was a great experience with these girls, and they were able to ride a couple more rides. Because the Girl Scouts do a lot for us. So it was, the cast member giving back to the people that give back in general. I just thought it was a cute story.
That is so
Yeah.
sweet. And you could imagine like the bigger groups of people, like that's harder for cast members to show magic to those
Yes.
people because there's so many of them.
Hmm.
So how amazing. Like all of these stories just make my heart just cry.
Absolutely. But yeah, that was one of my favorite stories.
Okay, cool. So I have three that I love everything. I might cry, but I hope
It's
I
okay.
don't. So this is from Sarah. I'm gonna try to read this word for word. I'm actually gonna read all of these word for word because they're just so cute, and I don't want to take even a single detail away from
Definitely.
them. So this is from Sarah. She says, on a hot summer day in 2019, my sister and nephew stopped at one of the little rolling kiosks to get some waters. It was hot. Now, I just want to preface this. She capsed all that. So she was like, it was hot. It was a hot day. I can assure you in Disney this day. But so it says we got to talking to the cast member about the heat, and after we paid, she handed us our waters and three Mickey ice creams. I don't remember her name, but it was such a magical moment, going from hot and slightly irritated to blessed with ice
Oh,
cream. I thought that was the cutest
how
story.
great.
I love it. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing that. I have two more, and hopefully they're not too long. Well, this one kind of is a little long, but it's so sweet.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so this next experience is from Zoe. All right, so she says, so my roommate Amanda and I spent a long weekend at Disney celebrating her birthday. We're both huge Haunted Mansion fans, and it was our final day at Magic Kingdom before we both went our separate ways. We go through the ride, quote every lyric, absolutely love it. Then we're getting off of the Doom buggy, and I notice that my bag isn't there. So, and it's one of those sling Kavu bags. It just had everything in there, my keys, my phone, all of it. So I obviously start panicking, and Amanda, who is far more level headed, goes, let's just chat with a cast member. Duh. So we ended up speaking with this sweet angel, Marl,
Oh,
who says that she can talk with her supervisor. And while we wait, why don't we just get back on the ride again? We literally are in the first hallway at the very beginning of the ride, and Amanda gasped loudly, and she says, "I see it." So she reaches over like it's nothing and casually plucks my bag from the ground. So this is like on
Oh
the
my
ride.
gosh.
I'm very surprised that no one else picked up this bag, but when they got back on,
They found it.
apparently they
Yeah.
saw it. How funny. So, as we're getting off the ride, I see Marl standing in the employee hall. And I raise up my bag and I point at it and I say, "Look, Marl got so excited and she had no reason to be. I am a stranger who was dumb enough to lose my bag on the ride, but she was so impressed that we found it and grabbed it without setting off any alarms."
Aw.
So the amount of excitement that she had as we laughed probably for 5 minutes, pretending we'd gone on some Indiana Jones level expedition to get my bag back. But it was honestly hilarious. And wherever Marl is, I hope that she knows that Amanda and I talk about this experience and how lucky we were to chat with her during this whole fiasco. Marl, you are a gem, and thanks for the tip to wrap my bag around my leg so it can never leave me again. Zoe. How sweet
That
is
is
that?
absolutely adorable. I don't know who Marl is, but like, what a gem.
Yes, I agree. Like, she is the real
Yes.
MVP
Oh my God. That just made my
for
day. How
sure.
cute.
I know. When I read it, like, for the first time, I just wanted to cry. That is so sweet. Let's see. All right. So this next one is from Emily. Emily, thank you so much for DMing me on Instagram. I appreciate it. So she says, my cast member experience. A few years ago, I was having low sugar at Magic Kingdom, and I was sitting on the side of Main Street. A cast member ran over and asked what was up. I let her know, and she said, "I'll be right back." So she ran off and came back with water and a Mickey ice cream and fast passes for the entire rest of the day. She went above and beyond, and she said she had me covered. I literally just cried from the kindness shown to me. I will never forget
Oh my
this.
gosh. I love cast members.
They truly are the
They just
best. They
add that
truly are
like
the best.
extra pixie dust to the whole Disney experience.
Yes, I agree. And also, what I love is that they don't have to ask anybody. Like, how
Yeah.
crazy is
What
that?
I no, I just it's so nice. I have no
I
words
know.
sometimes. It's just like it's such a great experience. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Well, let's talk about some of our personal experiences. Kara, you want to go
Sure.
first?
Mine's, kind of short and sweet, and it's actually a little funny. So this past trip that I went on in 2019, I was me and my mom, and we drank around Epcot as it was definitely on my bucket list of things to do. And, what I did was I took a picture of each drink, like up to either the kiosk or the pavilion that I was in. Got to take a picture for the gram. So I took a picture each time, and what happened was I came home, I was looking through all the pictures. I got all the pictures printed. I put them all in a cute little photo album. Then I was showing my friend the photo album. This is really like 3 weeks after the trip. Okay. So this cast member it wasn't even the magic during the trip. This is like 3 weeks after. And I'm showing my friend this photo album here in the picture at the Canada Pavilion. And I can't see the cast member's name. The name tag is way too small in the picture. I'm holding up my drink at the Canada Pavilion, and all you see is the cast member smiling in the kiosk with two thumbs up. And I didn't even notice it until 3 weeks later after I already got the picture printed and everything. I just thought, like, wow, these cast members just really want to like add a smile to everyone's day. And it just made me laugh and smile even weeks after my trip. So that is one of my like
That is so
personal
sweet.
favorite memories with a cast member. I know it's kind of like corny and it's just a picture, but it's just something, that they just add a little bit of magic to just even a picture.
That is so funny. That I just love it. I love it so much. And the fact that like the cast member didn't even come up to you and like let you know, like, "Hey, I
Yep.
photobombed your picture."
Nope.
I just want
Had
you to
no
know.
clue. I just kept, drinking whatever I was drinking in the Canada Pavilion and kept walking. And weeks later, I see this photo bomb, and it just really just made me laugh and smile and want to go back.
It's crazy how when you're at Disney, like you're on like this magic high, but then when you kind of come home, it's like, man, I'm
I'm
home
home.
again. So like 3 weeks later to like experience that magic again, just by a picture is
Definitely.
sweet.
But what about you?
Okay, so I have a couple. I have a couple. I just love cast members so much, and I'm very mad at myself that I didn't get everyone's name. But my favorite one was actually, let's see, this was February this year at the Run Disney Princess Run. And we were eating at Topolino's Terrace at the
Ooh.
Riviera. Have you
No,
eaten
but
here
I'm
before?
going to on my next trip.
Oh, okay, so you
Yes,
did
I
get a
did.
reservation. Yes,
Oh
you
no.
snagged one. Okay, you're
I can't
gonna
wait.
love it. Okay, so this was actually our waiter that day. His name was Wayne, and I had to pull up the picture of us and like zoom in on his name tag to remember his name, but his name is Wayne. Super, super, super sweet. We were actually like reading the menu. There was four of us, and we could not decide. Like all of us had these. We kept like asking Wayne, like, can you please recommend like one of these two? And obviously that was so hard for him because everything at Topolino's is so
Oh.
stinking good. So I really had like this predicament that between these two entrees, and I could not decide. So I finally like, and I guess Wayne like saw how much I was
Mhm.
struggling with it. So I finally decided, I'm like, just bring me this one and I'll come back next time and I'll get the other one. And he's like, okay. So he writes our order down and goes in the back. Well, all of our food comes out, and then he brings out that second entree that I could not decide between, and like laid it in the middle of the table and was like, I want you guys to share
What?
this. Totally free.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Wayne, when you go, make sure
I'm
you
gonna say,
ask for
Wayne,
Wayne. He's
Wayne, where are
great.
you?
Exactly. But it was so like, and I was so upset that I did not get to try like two different things at once, but Wayne made it happen. That was one of my favorite cast member experiences for
That's
sure.
awesome. I first of all, I cannot wait to go to Topolino's. It's been a goal since the Riviera in that restaurant opened, so I'm super excited. But now to
Mm,
know, like, I mean, there are great cast members everywhere, so I'm excited to see the ones that are there.
yes, yes. Oh, I'm so excited. I hope you call me after
Oh
and
my
like tell me
God,
all
I'm gonna
about
be sending
it.
you all the Snapchats.
Perfect. So I have a couple of other just cast members that I want to shout out. So Susan from the Starbucks on Main Street, you are amazing and hilarious. I love you so much. Thank you for all that you do. So that's Susan. And then I cannot remember this guy's name, but he works at the Carousel of Progress. He like loads the, I guess he puts everybody on their
Oh
numbers or
yeah.
whatever before we walk in. But he is so great. He does all these like character impressions. So funny. Every time I see him, which he's literally there every time I go, but I always make him like do an impression for me. And it's just so fun. And he never refuses. He's always just so happy to do
Good,
it.
great.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to get his name next time I go, but for sure, he's one of my favorites. Okay, so Susan from Starbucks, that amazing man who does the character impressions at the Carousel of Progress. So many other wonderful photo pass experiences where they just like they move you to
Oh
the
yeah.
side and they like make you pose all these fun ways. Like I cannot get enough of the photo pass people. Like they are
Yeah,
so
they're
great.
definitely doing their
So
job
so
and doing
great.
it well.
Yes. Oh, they do so well. And to also shout out the PhotoPass team as a whole. So Trevor, his name's Trevor, and he's the PhotoPass team lead. So apparently he's like in charge of all the
Huh.
PhotoPass people. He's super fancy and cool, but he noticed my purple wall book bag and he was like, "Do we sell that?" And I was like, "No, I bought it from this small shop." And I was like telling him all about it. So anyway, he asked me if I'd gotten a picture by the purple wall with my purple wall book bag. And I was like, no, I couldn't this time because that area is like closed off. They were doing like some construction over
Oh
there or
yeah.
something. And he was like, do you want me to take you over there? Like, I can definitely take you over there and get you behind the wall. And I'm like, what? are you serious? And he's like, yeah, we can just go behind those borders. Like, it's fine. And I just flipped out over Trevor. Like,
Sorry, I'm
he's
like not
amazing.
talking much because my mouth is just dropped. I just, what? Cast members are great.
Yes. They're so, so, so great. And I wish that I remembered all of the names and all of the stories, because we could just go on
Definitely.
and on. Like, Kara, this episode could be an
I
hour.
mean, that's definitely on my list of things to, prioritize this upcoming trip, is especially with everything going on in cast member layoffs, is to really know people's names and to make sure to give them that shout out, especially on Twitter, I believe. There's like, thank a cast member Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll definitely be writing people's names down and doing as much as I can to support all of them, especially during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the hashtag that you use on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, is cast member shout out. Like, I think I'm like 96% sure that that's the hashtag that you
Probably, yeah.
use.
I'll have to double check it, but I think you're right. So I think that's all the discussions we have for you guys this week, but we do want to make sure that you send us an email. So make sure to write down whywedisney@gmail.com. That's whywedisney@gmail.com. Please share with us all of your amazing cast member and Imagineering experiences. Tell us the names, especially if you are a cast member that unfortunately got laid off, and you want to share with us your experience, please do so. Also, one more thing, if you're a cast member and have a small shop, let us know. We want to shout you out next episode. So please go ahead and send us an email at whywedisney@gmail.com, and we will make sure to shout out all the cast members, because you guys truly deserve all of the magic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys make the experience, and we're just so grateful for all of the stories that were mentioned and that obviously couldn't be mentioned on this particular episode, but please know how much we love and appreciate your service. And yeah, so we shout out all of the cast members and we dedicate this episode to you. Thank you for joining us.